Hey CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this really cute mushroom handbag, or you can call it a carry-all, whatever you want to call it. You could use this for anything. I think it's kid and adult friendly. And these are the straps. I'm sorry my desk has become smaller. I've moved it so I don't have a lot of room in between my camera setup and the actual table. But anyways, you can see in the thumbnail what it looks like. It's pretty large as far as measurement goes. It goes about, it's approximately 15 inches across. And then with the handles, it's approximately 24 inches long. So that's how big it is. You could make it bigger by making your granny squares that I'm going to show you how to do. You can make them bigger. You can make it bigger that way. You could use a bigger hook for what I'm going to show you how to do. So there are ways to make it bigger. Obviously, you could do more rows on your granny square, or if you wanted to make it smaller, the same, vice versa. You would use a smaller hook. You could do less rows for your granny square, all of that. Now, I want to go ahead and tell you, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below so that you can get notified of my future videos. And sharing helps more than anything, guys, with family, friends, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, stuff like that. People that you know that love to crochet. And I really appreciate all your help, okay? So let's get into what materials you're going to need to make this really cute handbag here. So obviously you can use whatever yarn you want, but just to let you know, I used Mainstays and Red Heart yarn for this. I really like to have a very solid yarn to make bags with. Cotton yarn also works really great, but I just used red, white, and blue. Really simple weight 4 yarn. I also used a 4.25 millimeter hook, and you will need a pair of scissors and a darning needle, okay? So what I'm gonna do for this video is I'm gonna show you how to do the square, the mushroom, then I'm gonna show you a diagram that's gonna show you how to piece all of these together. So we're gonna start with our blue yarn, and we're gonna make a magic circle. If you're not familiar with the stitches that we're using in this, if you're very new to crochet, then you can go to my beginner video linked below in the description box, and you can find all that you need in there, okay? So we're gonna make a magic circle, and we're going to chain 2, and that's gonna count as our first double crochet. 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 2 more double crochets into our magic circle, and then you're going to chain 2. And so right there, basically we have 3 double crochets because this first one counted, the first chain of 2 counted as a double crochet, so now we have 3. So after we chain 2, we're going to put 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to chain 2, and you're going to do that again, 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then again, chain 2, and then do 1 more set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to pull tight, and you're going to put a slip stitch right into the top of your first chain of 2. Okay? Then right here where you just stopped, you're going to chain up 3 right there, and that's going to count as the double crochet over this stitch right here. Then you're going to go into your next stitch and put a double crochet, and into the next stitch put a double crochet, and into the corner you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're going to double crochet across the top of these 3 double crochets from previous. Go right in here to your first stitch and put 1 double crochet. Then on top of the next, another double crochet, and into the next, another double crochet. And now you're at another corner, and you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're at the top of your 3 double crochets here. So you're just going to put a double crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're at another corner again. So you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And now you're back at the top where your 3 are, and so you're just going to do a double crochet into the top of each one of these. 1, 2, and 3. And now you're at a corner again, so you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're going to slip stitch to the top of your chain of 3. Okay? And now you're going to basically do that same thing and do it all over again. So now you're going to chain 3, and you're going to double crochet into your next stitch, double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, and now you're at a corner. And you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then across the top again, you're going to put double crochets. Don't miss this first one right here. If you need to, push over your corner work. Go into this first stitch right here, put it in 1 double crochet into the next. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're back at a corner, and you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're just going to keep doing that all the way around till you get to the other side, till you get to your corner, and then put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. When we get here to the end, I'll meet you back again. Okay, so we finished our last corner, and we're right here where we need to start doing some, because where we came in at, we still have some double crochets left here to do. So pull over your corner, make sure that you see this. You're going to put 1 double crochet here, and 1 double crochet here, and then you're going to join to the top of your chain of 3 with a slip stitch. Okay, so that's what the square looks like so far. So we're going to do 1 more round, and that'll be the end of this granny square for this project. So we're going to chain up 3, we're going to do our double crochets across in each stitch till we get to our corner. So when we get to the corner, do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, then chain 2, and do 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. And then you're right here at the top, and you're going to put a double crochet in each stitch all the way across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then right here in this corner, you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So you're just going to keep doing that all the way around, just like we've done for our other rows. And when we get to the end, I'll meet you back up. So now we're back up here. We've just finished our last corner, and now we've got to work these double crochets across here. Like I said, make sure you move your work over so you can get to the top of this. If for any reason you're confused about how many double crochets you should do here, make sure that you actually count the double crochets from before, and that will let you know. So this chain of 3 was right over this one, so we need 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to make sure to get into this spot right here. Put a double crochet, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain of 3, and then you can cut off. And leave a piece long enough for you to work that in. And then I'm just simply going to pull this through just like this and then tighten, okay? If you're worried about this little bump here, that's all going to be covered when you sew these or when you crochet these together, okay? And so then what you would want to do is work in this end here at the back. Make sure you don't cut it off or try to knot it. It's really important that you work these in for magic circles. They do like to come undone. So make sure that you work, you know, the rule of 3. So work it in 1, 2, 3 times. And then I like to go in the opposite direction just for good measure. And then I'll cut off. Okay. And then you want to work in this piece up here at the top as well. So we're going to make a slip knot with our red yarn. We're still using the same size hook. And we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then into the second chain from the hook, so not this one, but the second one, you're going to put a single crochet. And you're going to put single crochets all the way down. So by the time you finish, because we worked into the second chain from the hook, you're going to have 10 single crochets. Okay, so after you work those 10 single crochets, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And in these first 2 stitches, you're going to single crochet 2 together. So to do that, you're going to go into this first stitch and pull up a loop and not go through anything. Then you're going to go through the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to go through all 3 loops, just like that. Then you're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in the next 2 stitches, you're going to do 2 single crochets together again. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go right into your next stitch, pull up a loop. Don't go through anything. Go through your next stitch, pull up a loop. That last one can be kind of hard to work into. You have 3 loops, go through all 3 loops. Chain 1 and turn your work. And you're going to do that again. You're going to go into your first stitch, pull up a loop, go into the second one, pull up a loop. Got 3 loops, go through all 3 loops. Now you're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in these last 2, you're going to do 2 together again. So pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop, go through all 3 loops, chain 1. And these first two, again, we're going to do 2 together, 2 single crochets together. Then you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 in the next each stitch. And then at the end, you're going to do 2 together again. Then chain 1, turn your work. And now you're going to do 2 sets of 2 single crochets together. So go into this first stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop, go through all 3, and then repeat that again. Go into the next, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop, go through all 3. Then chain 1, and then you're going to turn and end with 1 set of 2 single crochets together. So go in, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop, go through all 3. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. It doesn't really look like a mushroom, but we're gonna work our way around it, and that's gonna really make it look like a mushroom now, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're not gonna chain anything. You're just gonna turn it on its side, your piece of work here, on its side a little bit. And right here where you just worked this together, you're going to put 1 single crochet. And you're gonna need 5 single crochets down. So you can put them wherever you want, but you're just trying to work them into the side here. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then right down here in this corner, and like I said, if you can't, you know, you don't really need to get in any stitch per se, because that's going to make it really hard, especially if you're a beginner. But right here in this stitch, right down here, you're going to put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. So if you can just get in within that vicinity, it'll be fine. It'll still look like a mushroom, okay? And now we're going to do single crochets around the bottom here. So you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then right here where you have this piece pulled out is a little stitch, and you're going to work 2 into there. 1 and 2. That might cause this to pull out, so just pull it tight and it'll go back together again. And now I'm going to work 5 up this side, and when I do that, I'm going to work this little piece in as I go so I can cut it off, okay? So I'm going to go right into this next stitch, put 1 single crochet, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I've worked that in around the back, so now I can cut that off. And now I'm going to leave a long piece because we're going to be sewing this on. So leave about a foot or 2 on the end here, however much you think you're going to need. And instead of closing off, like tying in like this or going into your next stitch, you're just going to pull it through, okay? Because we want this to be a seamless end. So I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm going to put this on here, and we're going to finish up the top of this mushroom with a darning needle instead of my hook. So I'm going to go right into this next stitch right here, and I'm going to pull through, and that really doesn't look like a stitch. So I'm going to go right through the back of this one right here. Then I'm going to pull tight, and now it looks more like a stitch, okay? So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through the back, just like this, staying close to the side because we're going to be sewing this on. Okay, just like that. And then you've got the top of your mushroom. Now I'm going to show you how to make the bottom and how to work those cute little white specks into the top of your mushroom. Really makes it look realistic. So let me show you real quick how to do the mushroom stem. So to make the mushroom stem, I'm going to move that to the side. You're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to go into your second stitch from the hook, and you're going to put a single crochet. And into the next stitch, you're going to put a single crochet. And then into the next, you're going to put a half double crochet. Into the next, you're going to put a half double crochet. Into the next, you're going to put a double crochet. And into the next, you're going to put a double crochet. That leaves one stitch left, and in this stitch, you're going to put 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then in that same stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet. And then you can tighten up your work here at the end. And in this next stitch right here, you're going to put a double crochet. And then the next, you're going to put 1 half double crochet. And the next, 1 half double crochet. And then you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Just like that. Then you're going to cut off, leaving a long piece again. You need it to be extra long because you want to sew in with this and you want to make your little dots for your mushroom. So again, instead of slip stitching, I'm just going to pull right out. I'm going to take my darning needle. I'm going to pull that on. You could have worked over this as you went along. I usually try to, but I forgot. So I'm going to have to work this piece in as well. But anyway, I'm going to go right into the top of this to close, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to turn my mushroom piece over. So this is the front where you can see your stitches clearly. And this is the back. You're going to face this pointing this way so that both backs are pointing at you. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, up to the third, right in the middle, up to the third row, right in the middle. And I'm going to sew this on. So I'm only going to go through my back loops so I don't see this white through the front. And I'm simply going to sew around the portion of the stem that is on the red. So all along here, I'm going to sew this on. I'm even going to sew it down this way as well. Remember to work through the back of your stitches only so you can't see the white through the front. If you need a stick pin to hold this in place, that's fine. Or if you have an extra darning needle hanging around. But you just want to make sure that this is nice and snug. To get to the other side, I'm going to go right through here and come out right there. Again, working through the back only. And then I'm going to catch it this way. And this way. And again here. And you know, it doesn't look that pretty. That's okay. This is going to be facing your granny square. And now we're going to start working those little dots for our mushrooms. So this is what it looks like now. Really cute. And now you've got this white yarn in the back anyway. So we're going to start working this in, okay? So right here where I have it, I'm going to go right through. And I'm just going to start making those little specks by pulling it in and then going back out. So just like that. And I just don't have a rhyme or reason for it. I'm just going back and forth. Just like this. Kind of going everywhere in the back here. It's going to leave lines. Again, that's fine because you're going to be sewing this onto your work. And you can make these smaller or bigger. That's totally up to you. However you want your mushroom to look. You can use all kinds of different colors. That's what makes your projects unique. They don't have to look exactly like mine, but if you want them to, they can. Okay. And so I think that's good for our little dots there. And so now I'm going to make sure that this is this white piece, and it's getting caught up here. But I want to make sure that this is over here where I'm going to start sewing this white on here in a little bit. So I'm going to go right over here and bring that where I want it to be so it's ready to be sewed on, okay? And then I'm going to work this piece in. One, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to cut that off. Okay. And now I want to show you how to sew this on. So I've got my white piece here that I'm going to use to sew this on, and I have my red piece up here that I'm going to use to sew that on. If for any reason while you were sewing everything together, these kind of went back in on themselves, you can just take your darning needle and pull them out a little bit. Just be easy so you don't pull on anything, and it'll work just fine. So now what I'm going to do is, the first thing, you want to make sure that when you're putting these mushrooms on, that they are on a triangle look. You don't have them like in a square, because these are done when we do put these together. They're done in the triangle like this. Diamond, not in the square like that, okay? So you want to make sure that when you put these on, the mushroom is facing this way, like this, and I put it in between this corner right here and this corner right here, so that would be our third row here. I'm going to put them in between there, and I'm going to use one of my smaller darning needles to hold it into place. So I'm simply going to put that there so it's held right where I want it to be. And then I'm going to start sewing this onto the granny square. So I want to show you how I do that real quick. I'm going to go right through the other side like this. And then I'm going to come back through working on the top of my work. So I'm going to go through there and go out here and go through here and go out here. And this is just to kind of hide the stitches a little bit. If you look closely enough, you can see them, but it's better than going, you don't want to do a whip stitch for this. If you do a whip stitch, you're going to see your stitches. So it's important that you're just kind of going back and forth with this. And you're just going to keep going all the way around all the red part. And then you're just simply, when you get over here to where the stem is, you're going to go right through it as well. And back up. And out. Sometimes I might miss one, just trying to hurry. It's okay, doesn't matter. Just gonna keep going till I get to the top where I started. Okay, we're right here at the top. And voila, you've got the red part on. And so now I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to work this piece in, going along where the red is so that it won't matter if it sees through, because you're not going to be able to see it anyway. So I'm going to work it in those 3 times. Okay, and then you can cut off. And then we're going to sew on the white part. Okay, so I'm just gonna make make sure it's lined up where I want it to be. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other one. I'm gonna go down and out the other side. And then I'm just gonna go along the ends here. Sewing this on. And I think I went over from my middle part a little bit, so where it's a little bit over, but that's okay. Sometimes it's kind of hard when you're on camera. So again, just going around, going through all my stitches, just like this. Okay. And after I've gone through all my stitches, turn it over, and right where the white is, I'm going to work this in so that you can't see it through the front. 2, 3, and then you can cut off. You can take out your darning needle. And now you have everything worked in that needs to be worked in. If that's curving on you a little bit down at the end, you could sew that better here at the bottom, but that's pretty much what it looks like. This is all put together with single crochet. So let's look at the bag again real quick, okay? So the bag is worked by just single crocheting these sides together. You're not using a needle. You are simply just pulling in some yarn and single crocheting all your squares together in a diamond format, okay? So if you wanted to sew them together, you could if you didn't want this raised line here, but I think it looks really cool and gives it a three-dimensional kind of look, but that's totally up to you. But I did them all pulling together with the single crochets, and then I did my handles here is I chained 100. When you get up here to the top to make your handles, you're going to start here on the side right here. After I show you the diagram, you'll understand better, but right here at the top of these two, okay? So you won't have any handles when you get done, but you'll have these two right here, these two diamonds. And you're gonna start right here in the top of that corner of that granny square. And you're going to single crochet around and keep going and do 100 and then come back over here and then just keep going around and around till you get to the size that you want for your handle. And then you're just gonna come right back over here and do the same thing. So it's really easy stuff, super simple. And also when I got done, I did here in the middle, these parts here, I did a slip stitch. So I did a slip stitch around here and then around the inside of the handle. And then I did a slip stitch on this side going around and then going on the inside of the handle, because when you're working these, you're going to be working on the outside. So then you'll need to get to the inside, and that's how I did it. I just did a slip stitch, okay? So here is the diagram, and I'm going to explain it to you real quick as best I can. Okay, so this is the way this is worked, mushroom purse diagram. So this is the front, okay, and you've got these laid out just like this in diamond form, not square form, but like this. So you'll have 1, 2, these are full ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and these are the way that they're together, just like this. So you would sew or single crochet right along here, along here, along here, along here, along here, okay? So just imagine for the front of this, you need 8 of these granny squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, and 8 you will join, but they will actually turn in, okay? So these are actually half of a granny square pointing from the front. Then from the back, you'll have 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 full ones. And then these will be those halves that you see over here. They've got the same numbers on them, as you can see. So it shows you that those fold in together. So all in all, you're going to need 13 granny squares. And I'm just going to be quiet and let this paper sit here if you wanted to take a screenshot of it. So I hope this helped, guys. Helps. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you make this. Let me know what y'all's turnout like. I love it when you send me pictures. A lot of people do that. You can do that on Facebook or Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I have a Gmail. Of course, you can comment on the YouTube section below. All of that is in the description box below if you want to find me at all of those places. And of course, you can ask me anything you want anytime, and I will be glad to help. I try to answer as many questions as I can. Sometimes YouTube will take a comment and they'll hide it from you for no reason. They might even say it's spam, and it's not. So if there's ever a time that I don't get back with you and you have an important question, you're trying to get something done, you can always Gmail me or find me in those other places, or try to comment again so that I can see it. Okay, guys? So happy crocheting. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.